Good morning. My name is Wanda Diaz, one of the managers here at FCC for patient access and patient experience. In the April Collaborative, Dr. Choi and Dr. Rank introduced the lean principle and the spaghetti diagram. We identified that one of our biggest wastes was in patient movement.
Hi, I'm the medical director in PEDS here, and I'm very happy to talk to you about how we approach this. What we decided is that we want to make an impact on throughput. And using the principles we had learned from prior quality initiatives, we decided to start small and design a PDSA that would target 2 providers and nursing pairs and see if we could improve the amount of time that patients spent waiting.
Hi, I'm Jess Falkenhausen. I'm the nurse manager for pediatrics. So after we figured out what we were going to do for our intervention, that we were going to change the patient flow through the clinic for just 1 to 2 providers to begin with, and then see how it works, look at the data. We designed the workflow, so rather than the patient having to go in and out so many times, we decided that all the work would come to the patient. So we thought about what we need to make that happen, part of which was equipment that might be expensive. So luckily Dan, our site administrator, was very supportive and let us purchase scales so we could have nice scales and height measurements in the room and make sure we have thermometers and blood pressure cuffs and all of that jazz. Then I chose a nurse that was definitely open to change and willing to commit to the workflow for the period of time we were going to do the PDSA. Me and Dr. B talked to the nurse and the provider, and once the scale arrived, we rolled it out. We looked at some pre-PDSA cycle time data, how long it took the patient to get through from check-in to check-out. We began the PDSA, and 2 weeks later, we looked at the data again, and we were down 14 minutes. Yay! It was a successful small test of change, and we decided to spread it. So when we were looking at spreading it, Dr. B and I met again to see how we would do that. And I think Dr. B can tell you a little bit about how we decided to roll it out to the expanded additional providers.
What we realized is that whenever you're making a change, you have to select individuals who Dr. Choi and Dr. Rink call early adopters. We had already had success with 2 providers who had embraced change in prior quality events. We then went to 2 other providers who had very large patient panels so that we could see a change, even with a small change in what we did on a daily basis with them. Building on the success of cycle 1, we were able to move towards cycle 2, which was to spread this to other providers. I have to be honest, most of our providers would prefer to have their patients room in. But since we are in a facility that does not allow us to do that for all of us, we thought we would target these individuals and show that this was a positive thing for our institution.
We're hoping the data will be so great that we'll get to renovate the pediatric department. So all providers have 2 exam rooms and a consult room. So this is our pilot team for the rooming and workflow, Dr. Palizzi and Owen, and they were the first team to roll out the rooming and workflow, so we're going to ask them about their experience. So, what worked well?
Well, for one, getting the patient in and just have them ready for the doctor to see them when the doctor comes in. So instead of the patient having to go back and have a seat in the waiting area, we have everything done in the room, and then the doctor comes in and just see the patient right there.
And what do you think has been positive and what do you think has been a little challenging?
So I agree with Owen. I think for the patients, it's been really nice. I think they get into the room faster. I think they get out of the room faster. So the whole visit for them is a lot faster. And I think for them to not have to sort of do so much movement has been really nice. I think they really enjoy that. I think sort of having me and Owen work so closely together, I think we have really nice communication. And so just sort of also nice flow in that way. I'd say for me, sort of the biggest negative of it has been just because we don't have sort of a separate workstation anywhere. I sort of have a hard time sometimes just, there's sort of a lot of like logging in, logging out of the computers, and sometimes I don't have any place where I can just sort of sit and quickly look up the next patient I'm gonna go see or quickly finish up a note or something like that. But I'd say overall it's been very beneficial.
So overall, it was a win, and we stuck with it. Yay! Thanks.
Dr. Taylor, this is Doreen. They actually took part of the second cycle in the PDSA. So we just wanted to know what were your challenges and what you liked about the PDSA.
Well, I really appreciate having 2 devoted rooms and a devoted nurse. It moves patients along. The patients appreciate not having to jump up and down repeatedly to go in and out of the waiting room. And when I tell them that they can stay here and the nurse will come in to give the shots, it's appreciated.
Doreen?
Yes, I agree with Dr. Taylor. It cuts down on the time that the patient stays here, because like from the moment they come in the room, then they don't leave until it's time for them to go.
To check out.
So so I find it very efficient. The major challenge that I have is when we have to do the vision and the hearing screening, because we don't have those over here. So that's one of the major challenges. And like Dr.